Islam in Palestine. Palestine is at the heart of the Arab and Islamic Ummah and enjoys a special status. Within Palestine, there exists Jerusalem, whose precincts are blessed by Allah. Palestine is the Holy Land, which Allah has blessed for humanity. It is the Muslims' first Qibla and the destination of the journey performed at night by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It is the location from where he ascended to the upper heavens. It is the birthplace of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. Its soil contains the remains of thousands of prophets, companions, and mujahideen. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It is the land of the people who are determined to defend the truth within Jerusalem and its surroundings, who are not deterred or intimidated by those who oppose them and by those who betray them, and will continue their mission until the promise of Allah is fulfilled. So this is actually interesting, right? They talk about Muhammad, Jesus Christ. They don't talk about any of and they say thousands of prophets, companions, right? They don't mention any of the Jewish prophets or leaders that lived in the land. It's convenient to leave that out because there has been this attempt to erase Jewish history on the land. So not hard to understand why they're going to conveniently not mention Jewish history here. Next, by virtue of its justly balanced middle way and moderate spirit, Islam, I don't know, I struggle with that statement. Balanced middle way and moderate spirit, Islam for Hamas. I mean, there's definitely moderate versions of Islam, but many of its manifestations are by no means moderate. I mean, even like, and again, I don't like bashing religions because at the end of the day, I think culture supersedes religion. I think you have the Muslim community is very diverse. And even if you look at like polling on Sharia law, support for Sharia law within like the Middle East or within Muslim countries, you have, let's say, actually, Palestine has one of the highest rates of belief in Sharia. It's over 80% in a Pew poll that was done in 2014. If you look at Kazakhstan in that same poll, it's 24%, right? These are both Muslims, but with very different beliefs because culture supersedes religion in many regards. That's why I don't know if we should. I think it is important to see how religion does have the ability to impact people, but we shouldn't see it as entirely deterministic of what somebody's going to believe. But that being said, I do think saying Islam being middle way with a moderate spirit, so many of its manifestations, even if you look at like polling in Europe, like British Muslims have, I think, over 50% rate thinking that like apostates should be like punished, right? So if you speak bad against Islam, you should be punished. Some say stoned. Like that's a very high percent for a Western country like England, right? So whatever. I'm going on a tangent. Let's continue. By virtue of its justly balanced middle way and moderate spirit, Islam for Hamas provides a comprehensive way of life and an order that is fit for purpose at all times and in all places. Islam is a religion of peace and tolerance. It provides an umbrella for the followers of other creeds and religions who can practice their beliefs in security and safety. Hamas also believes that Palestine has always been and always be a model of coexistence, tolerance, and civilization innovation. You see, so they're really trying to go truly progressive with this one. So if you look at like Ottoman Palestine, it actually was one of the more pluralistic places in the Middle East. It was, call it, more progressive than others, and in many regards more progressive than Europe. But it's not like you really had equality. Like Jews living on the land were second-class citizens. They living in Ottoman Palestine, Jews did not have the same rights as Muslims. But that's going back 100 years. Let's talk about now. Is Gaza a model of coexistence, tolerance, and civilization innovation? Right? I think if we really want to see how Hamas will govern, you should see how they're governing now, not how Palestine was governed under the Ottomans 100 years ago. So, yeah, I'm not really buying that last statement, if I'm going to be honest with you all. Continuing, Hamas believes that the message of Islam upholds the values of truth, justice, freedom, and dignity, and prohibits all forms of injustice and incriminates oppressors irrespective of their religion, race, gender, or nationality. Islam is against all forms of religious, ethnic, or sectarian extremism and bigotry. It is a religion that inculcates its followers the values of standing up to aggression and supporting the oppression. It motivates them to give generously and make sacrifices in defense of their dignity, their land, their people, and their holy places. Yeah, again, like this is just trying to really be progressive. Like I do agree that many people through Islam become more peaceful. So they say it's the religion of peace, but as I mentioned, culture supersedes religion in many regards. People have different interpretations of religion. So there are many versions of Islam that you see. It's actually about people reach these beautiful conclusions on life and how we could live in like a beautiful society. But again, if we look at Hamas and how they're governing now, it's not this beautiful version of Islam. It's an extreme, brutal version of Islam. And again, I don't quite compare them to ISIS. I think people like to say Hamas is ISIS. I actually think it's a slightly different brand of Islam. I think Hamas is actually truly more Islamic, that they adhere more to principles of the Quran. But to think, to write this out as if it's like we're going to have this beautiful land of equality and stand up to extremism, and looking how Gaza is governed, right? There seems to be some dissonance here between what they're saying and how they're currently governing. So actions speak louder than words, as they say.